Hi, Trains readers. I'm Assistant Editor Brian Schmidt.
Hi, I'm Jim Wrinn.
Welcome to Trains Newswire video for Friday the 13th.
Wow. You think anything crazy is going to happen today?
I hope not. I made it to work. That's half the battle. As
It
long as
is
I can
half
get
the
home,
battle.
I'll be okay.
It is half the battle. We've already got 69 Newswire stories as of this morning.
Wow.
And you got more to post this afternoon.
There's a few more to go up this afternoon, so we'll easily surpass the 70, maybe the 75 mark.
I think we might get to an all-time record.
We got to be pretty close to one. We got to be pretty close to one.
That's pretty cool. Lots on there.
There's plenty out there this week. David Lassen was down at the Railroad Contractor Show in Florida.
And there's all sorts of news on there about capital spending projects.
Capital spending projects, that's right. Railroads seem to be holding their own with spending there. Holding the line, I guess is the right term for it. Spending a lot on refurbishment and reinvestment in their physical plant, but they're not doing the capacity expansions that they were doing 2, 3, 4 years ago.
They're replacing those pesky bridges that need to be replaced.
They are. They're fixing what needs to be fixed, but they're not looking too far ahead at expansion yet.
Although I was kind of surprised, CSX has got some expansion in there.
CSX is the one that's bucking the trend, absolutely. We heard a little bit about CSX at I was at MARS, the Midwest Association of Rail Shippers meeting down in suburban Chicago this week. And we learned from Clarence Gooden, the president of CSX, we learned that CSX is working to upgrade the Chicago to Atlanta corridor to run longer trains, new sidings, more sidings. They can run trains 14,000 plus feet down there.
Wow.
Up to 18 is something that he had said. So
that's amazing.
We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see how that goes. But Mars, I have traveled to Mars and back in 1 week, and it only took 2 hours each way.
No kidding.
It's a great meeting. Twice a year they meet. Once in Chicago, once in southern Wisconsin. The winter meeting is always packed. There's railroad executives there. Carl Ice was there from BNSF. Of course, Gooden was there from CSX. All these shippers are there. If you want grain companies, if you want oil companies, they're all there. They're all talking to the railroads. They're all learning what railroads are facing and how they can all work together, which is really cool. And two things came up repeatedly, at least from the railroad side. One was working with millennials and recruiting them. Truckers are having a really hard time getting millennials to come work. It's not a glamorous occupation like railroading is. Pause for dramatic effect.
That's awesome.
So,
I'm digging that.
So railroads are very aware of what they need to do to attract millennials and account for that. And then the other thing that everyone's talking about is automation, autonomous trucks. There we go. Hey, Brian, I haven't had any coffee yet today. Autonomous trucks, and then what that means for railroading. Some experts think now that railroads, if trucks go full driverless, or even a little bit of automation on it, wow, coffee.
Go ahead and drink that. It's okay.
That'll change the dynamic of where railroads can compete. Right now, railroads are competitive and moves in intermodal 700 miles or more, and some experts are thinking that could be up to 1,000 or 1,100, 1,200 miles.
Wow.
So as labor is roughly 40% of the cost of trucking as a whole.
Yeah.
So railroads are interested in learning about this and how they can leverage it.
What do they do? How do they fight back? I think I know the answer, but
there were a lot of questions asked, but there weren't a lot of answers given.
Nobody came back and said, "Well, we're going to have driverless trains."
That was one thing that was thrown out there, but it wasn't thrown out by a railroad. It was thrown out by a Wall Street analyst, basically. So we'll see what comes of that. But with PTC, it certainly moves in the right direction for one-man crews and eventually driverless trains.
It might come to that. Nobody to wave to.
There's a disconnect right now in regulation as you look at the DOT, and they're trying to push driverless trucks. At the same time, they're trying to push two-man crews and railroads. So this is something that railroads will have to contend with sooner rather than later, it seems.
Wow. That must have been fascinating.
It was quite interesting to hear these railroaders talk about it. Certainly, and some of the intermodal experts were the ones really getting the numbers out there. But it was certainly a great time.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Well, while you were down there having a good time, I was minding the store, putting out Newswire on Wednesday and Thursday, and there was a lot of preservation news this week.
What was there?
Oh my
Dare we
gosh,
ask?
what wasn't there? There was railroads closing, there were railroads moving, there were tickets going on sale. The
611 tickets.
611 tickets, but also Western Maryland Scenic's 1309 tickets
1309.
going on sale.
So they have a date to run 1309 now.
They have a date to
when
run
is
it
that?
now, July 1st.
Ooh.
So July 4th weekend just got really much more interesting.
Book your hotels in Cumberland now?
Book your hotel in Cumberland there. Don't forget the one, oh my gosh, I think they changed brands. There's
The one
that
downtown is
overly
a
up-
Ramada now, I think.
Is it Ramada now?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
used
a
to be
Holiday Inn the last
Inn.
time I stayed there.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think it did go to Ramada, but anyway, that's the one that overlooks the tracks. But yeah, the Orange Blossom Cannonball down in Florida is going to be shutting down. The Golden Gate Railroad Museum out in California is moving. They've been in sort of exile and harboring themselves with the Niles Canyon Group for many years. Now they're going to move up to the Northwestern Pacific, just up on the other side of the bay from where they used to be. And like I said, then you got some really wild stuff, like CSX is repainting an SD40 C&O to honor its heritage there, and they're going to donate that locomotive to the C&O Historical Society. So
What's the Historical Society going to do with it?
they're going to lease it out to the Buckingham Branch Railroad, so it'll stay active.
So people will be able to see it.
People will be able to
and
see
it'll make
it.
some money for the organization.
It'll make money for
We
everybody.
hope.
Everybody wins.
Very good.
Everybody wins.
Very
So
good.
yeah, I mean all kinds of stuff in preservation this week, and yeah, tickets for 611 went on sale. The group in Duluth, Minnesota, the Lake Superior Railroad Museum announced the debut trips for their steam locomotive. So
Fantastic.
here we are in the middle of January, and we've got 3/4 of the year already planned out for us.
We're heating things up with steam. I like
It's
it.
awesome.
I like
it's
it.
awesome.
Anything
stuff.
else?
No, I was going to say that. One other thing was just the traffic report. I'm always a sucker for that one. That's always my favorite thing.
Sure.
It was just the barometer of how things are going. But the year didn't start off too good as far as business goes. So railroads are off about 11% in traffic.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, not good.
Is that a weekly report?
That's the weekly report.
Okay.
So it's just the first part of January. But and then there was one other development which I thought was interesting was even though overall traffic dropped last year, our buddy Bill Stevens wrote about how that intermodal traffic surpassed carload traffic for the first time last year. They're both down, but intermodal still hung in there better than carload traffic.
So it was down
check it.
less? Is that
It was
that's
down
how that
less.
works? Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
it was down less. So go check those out in Newswire as well.
So that's intermodal units though.
Right.
So that's one trailer versus one boxcar.
Correct.
So we're still moving more traffic because boxcars can hold more and hoppers and
Exactly.
tank cars. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You got it. You got it. So
Do we have anything trivia for the folks?
we are
or-
very trivial today. Our
Always.
friend John DeRue is the winner of last week's trivia contest, which was name all the endpoints for all the 611 excursions in April and May. I'm going to see if I can do it here. Lynchburg, Charlotte, Greensboro, Roanoke, Petersburg, and Walton. So if you got those right, there were 13 people that entered. And John, we picked you out by accident or at random, I
At
guess
random,
is the way
yeah.
to put it there. Send us an email to newswire@trainsmag.com, and we will fulfill your wildest fantasy by providing you a copy of the brand new Chicago special issue available from Trains Magazine.
Fantastic.
So, and if you want to play this week, we can put you in touch with a Chicago issue if you get this question right.
Ooh.
And the question is, a famous locomotive is being restored, and I want you to name that locomotive and the endpoints that it will be running on. We put this in Newswire this week,
This week.
so be sure and check out this week's Newswire. Name a famous locomotive that's being restored to its former self, former glory, and the endpoints on which it will be running.
You have me stumped on this one. Must have been one
You'll
I
have
was
to go back and
going-
read
Yeah,
Newswire
I'll have to read
now.
Newswire
You've been out of the
now.
office most of the week, so you get a pass this week. So, and we'll have to
Fantastic.
we'll try this on David and Steve when they get back and see if they.
I only hope that Amtrak honors that pass.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Anything else?
That's all we got.
All
Have a
right.
great weekend, everybody. 7 years ago,
Trains, the magazine of railroading.
brought forth on this continent a new magazine dedicated to the choo-choos.
The drama of modern railroading is nowhere more apparent than in Chicago. Trains Magazine takes you along for an up-to-date look at the Windy City's railroad scene with its new 60-minute DVD and special issue, Chicago, America's Railroad Capital. You will see today's passenger and freight operations in urban landscapes and bright suburban locations, as well as a look at the development of the city's rail network. Both are available January 2017 at KalmbachHobbyStore.com.